great, because these small operations have the possibility to grow. They diversify our economy, which is County Council's always #1 objective, is to A, create jobs, but have a diversified economy, because if something goes bad over here, something else over here can pick it up. So it all works into the grand economic development strategy of Anderson County.
And these recent ones really are diverse in what
There couldn't be any further apart than they are, which we love.
yeah, some of them are, it's hard to even figure out what they do, but you know it's not the same thing.
No.
Any more announcements in the queue before the end of the year?
Oh, we will have a flurry of announcements before the end of the year. We have 3 more council meetings before the end of the year, and so we expect several more announcements. We could have, as a matter of fact, we could have up to 9 in total. I'm not guaranteeing 9 because things are in different stages of where they are, but there's a great possibility we could.
We haven't talked about the jail in a while. What's the next step before they can start moving dirt out there for the new jail?
Well, we hope to have the plans completed in early January. We are standing on them to have them completed in early January, and we would like to actually go out on the street sometime in late January or February to begin the process of getting all the bids in and getting this project underway.
Is this a normal delay, or?
This is just how long it takes when you build a jail, and you would think that, hey, if you've designed a jail before, you know, you pretty much know what it is, but we've asked for different things and special things like that, and there are new technologies and new cost savings, and we're looking ways to save energy over the long run. We are partnering with Duke Energy on how to do things a certain way that will save the taxpayers money over the long run. So no, it's not delayed. It's actually on pretty much schedule.
It might not be as costly as in the past because it seems like material prices are leveling out. Is that correct?
They're leveling out, but they're not going to go back to where they were. It is still very expensive to build anything.
Well, this week Spartanburg County voters approved penny sales tax for roads. Where is Anderson County in the process of getting that referendum ready for the 2024 cycle? And is the Spartanburg win a positive sign?
Spartanburg is Spartanburg and Anderson is Anderson, but this is the second time that they've done it, and so obviously they proved that they were going to do what they said they were going to do with the money. So I would take it as a slightly positive sign, because the only way this is going to happen is if you have enough money to attack it and attack it full force. The penny sales tax would do that, and third reading could possibly be before January 1, might come after that, but we have completed the study that you and I have talked about in the past to give us the status of every road in Anderson County. In addition to that,
now Matt's pulling all that together, though. He still doesn't have the info ready to digest.
But
right?
We're getting very close to do that, because we want that to be, council wants that to be part and parcel of the ordinance, so people will know exactly what they're voting for. There won't be any question. There are no surprises, no hidden things in here. And oh, by the way, we're sneaking a Civic Center building in here over here. It'd be purely for roads. But another good thing, we were one of the few places fortunate to receive a safety grant from the federal government, $200,000, which we will put on top of that will highlight the most dangerous roads in Anderson County and actually open up a whole nother sector of funding that if you don't have that $200,000 study, you can't apply for. So that's going to open up a whole nother channel of money for road work. So we're excited about that, very excited about that.
And you and I have talked about this before, but if Anderson passed that and we got the money to actually do what needs to be done to the roads, it would put us in some pretty rare air, right? Not many places have that.
No, I mean, if we had the perfect road system, I think it's just going to help increase the economy of Anderson County. I think people's cars are going to last longer. I think that traffic fatalities are going to go down. I think all of those things are going to happen. That's what you would expect me to say, but it is true. And again, 100% of the people who live in Anderson County would pay this tax. But an additional 35% of that money would come from people who don't live in Anderson County. So that would be a great gift. We always have to remember we're on Interstate 85. We also have to remember that we're a market center for a large portion of Georgia and upstate South Carolina. I mean, we just are. That is, and those people come here and they spend money in Anderson County. They'll buy gas in Anderson County. They will eat in Anderson County. All of those things are taken into consideration in this project.
And that study that was done, what, 10 or 12 years ago now, was saying that certain areas like the exit 19 area, if you go through and do the tag counts, it's like 60% out of state.
Yeah, well, we have a study going on right now in collaboration with Clemson University to give us even better, more refined numbers than that. So we're anticipating receiving that sometime in the next month or two.
Oh, really? For the end of the year, maybe?
I don't know. That would be ambitious.
The folks at the Anderson County Board of Voter Registration and Elections did another good job with municipal elections and the referendum in Pendleton, where Pendleton voters approved the bond for new schools and upgrades for existing schools. What challenges does this exponential growth up in Pendleton pose for the county?
The same challenges that we have in the Powdersville area that we're also experiencing now pretty much all over the county. We were in a pretty good position to deal with growth, but we are still having to do some catch up in certain areas. There are a lot of things changing. Who had ever heard of a problem with short-term rentals 5 years ago? Nobody. Have you heard about the new standards for roads? Anybody know that in the whole United States? Nobody. So there are new challenges presented by growth, and the new challenges that are presented all over the United States because of the change in technology, the way people do things, and things like that. So it's always constantly evolving, and county council is always constantly evolving and studying this issue and that issue. I mean, council has a large responsibility. I mean, you know, we handle all the garbage. We provide police, fire protection, all of those things. So it's a wide array of items they have to do with. Sewer, 911, all of those things. We just very little to do with fire, but a whole lot of other things we have a whole lot to do with. Our airport is growing by leaps and bounds. If we had 4 more hangars out there, they would be filled up. And so it's just a lot of good things are happening, but growth does bring other items that you have to address.
And speaking of all the things that people are doing in the county and things you have to address, we woke up yesterday with smoke from North Carolina wildfires.
2 fires.
Hanging in Anderson County. You could taste it outside.
Absolutely. We put out an alert yesterday afternoon so people would know where that was coming from. And now they have some fires in South Carolina, brush fires. And so what we need is rain. We need a lot of rain, but I don't know whether we're going to get a lot of rain.
Well, emergency management, you don't think about them having to report on smoke from North Carolina. Remind me what the Anderson Emergency Management Group does.
Emergency Management Group is in charge of preventing catastrophes, dealing with catastrophes, making sure that Anderson County is resilient in every way you can be. What are we going to do if this happens? They've got a plan for that. If this happens, if we have an ice storm, what are we going to do? Who's going to carry the people to the hospital? Well, we're going to do that. What happens if the roads are blocked? Our public works, they have a whole plan for that. What are we going to do? Anything that can go wrong, our emergency management team has a plan and response in place. Everybody who works for Anderson County is in essence part of that team. I mean, the biggest part of that team is going to be public works. Because who's going to get the trees out of the road? Who's going to do all of those things? Who's going to help with flooding and things like that? So it's a big effort, but thank God we have the greatest team of people that work for Anderson County who all work together. We don't have fights between departments and jealousies like that. It's just one big happy family who help each other and don't look at where the lines are, and that's my job and that's your job.
People from our generation think about the nuclear plant being close by. They regularly meet with them with a plan in case something happened there.
Absolutely. As a matter of fact, we're the evacuation center at the Anderson County Civic Center for that.
At the request of their citizens in that area, council gave final approval of the newly zoned Fork No. 2 Precinct Tuesday. We've talked a little bit about zoning before, but most of Anderson County is not zoned. Is it like 70%?
Probably.
Remind everybody why there's not any more zoning then.
Well, what the Anderson County Council does is zoning in Anderson County has to come from the people, the citizens. County council does not want to go out to a certain area and say, this is what you're going to do, whether you like it or not. So the citizens in a certain area, voting precincts, they decide that they would like to have that area zoned. They get a petition, then we have an election, and if they vote to zone it, then it becomes zoning. So it's not top-down zoning, it's grassroots up zoning, and that's exactly what happened in that situation.
I guess there's always been this friction between people who want zoning and people who don't want to be told what to do with their land. Or that goes back. That's why we don't really have zoning. It goes back a long way.
It goes back a whole long way. People don't like to be told what they can do with their land until the nuclear plant moves in next door. Then they want you to go tell them what they can do with their land.
Or the hog rendering process.
Or the hog rendering process, or the chicken grinding company.
Any update on the elevators, and how is the moving of the court cases out of the new courthouse working out?
Working out very well so far. We haven't had any snags or any problems with it. I think that people really like coming to the old courthouse to do work. As a matter of fact, the acoustics are better here than the new courthouse. It's bigger than any place that they can have court over there. Civil over here, criminal out at 1428 on Pyramid Dairy Road. So far, it's been moving well. No update on the 4 months for the elevators. No update on that whatsoever.
And there's not very many elevator companies out there. It's not like there's a lot to deal with. You pretty much have limited choices.
That's exactly right.
Well, I was in a meeting this morning where South Main Mercy Chapel was bragging on the county, helping them and telling people you guys are stepping up. The county's also made a priority to remove blighted houses in some neighborhoods. Any update on how that's going?
We've been removing blighted houses in neighborhoods. We've got some more that we're fixing to take down, and we'll continuously remove houses from blighted neighborhoods. That's one of the things that provides the most satisfaction to county council, to be able to do that, because a lot of these places become drug houses, places for people to sleep where it's not safe for them to sleep. And so every time we can get one of those down, it makes the neighborhood safer, it makes it cleaner, and increases the value of the properties around them. So we love doing that.
It also is concrete, unlike a lot of the whereases and the wheretofores. They can see something done.
It is immediate. In 3 or 4 days, it's gone. This looks better already.
And then a few months later, there's grass there, so
there's grass there.
You can see the progress.
Yes.
County's also working with AIM and Rebuild Upstate to help keep folks in their existing homes that need repairs. How important are these efforts to help easing the housing shortage, especially affordable housing?
We still have a housing shortage. We still have an affordable housing shortage. But these are projects that we do with money we receive from the federal government called the Home Program. And we feel it's best, rather than the county set up a duplicate organization. These organizations are in the business to do that. So we fund them. County Council funds them to carry out these missions. They're on the ground and they're doing a wonderful job. And the idea is to preserve existing housing stock, and actually with some of these other organizations we're helping to build affordable housing that people can find a place to live. So anything that we can do along those lines, we're trying to do.
And as part of COVID, the county got some funding that you administered through AIM to help with rent, and that money ends in December. Is there any hope of replacing that from?
That was a COVID situation, and I doubt that will come back. There will still be assistance programs going on, but sometimes we can fill in for an organization with money that allows them to do that with some of their money. So that's what we try to do.
I got a lot of response from last month talking about how important you personally and the council to make it a mission to support the nonprofits in the county that are helping our friends and families and neighbors in need. And that's especially important this time of year. Remind people some of the things county is doing beyond just what we just talked about there with housing.
Well, the Anderson County Council supports a lot of the nonprofits in Anderson County. I mean, we support everything from the group that feeds people on Christmas Day. We do that every year at the farmers market. We don't do that. We give it to the nonprofit Reverend Matthew Merriweather, he does that. He has a great organization. And if you don't have anything to eat on Christmas Day, you can go to the Anderson County Farmers Market and you will leave with a wonderful Christmas meal. But we do things like Help Safe Harbor and all of these other organizations that council says we can give them some money, they can go do good works. And so it's a broad number of those that they support.
And I know even on smaller scale, I know Councilman Glenn Davis had a fish fry for the community, and people were having so much fun, a huge turnout.
They had over 300 people there. They had a lot of fun. They had fish, they had bread, they had coleslaw. It was a great event, and they did it open to anybody. If you're just wandering down the street and you were hungry, come on in.
It's like a pop-up party.
Absolutely.
Is the entertainment season over for the year at the Civic Center?
Yes, but today is Thursday, okay? Monday, we will have a huge announcement in the entertainment sector. Huge! And I can't say anything else about it, or I will jeopardize the fact that it's coming here. But I think it will
Next
amaze.
year?
Oh, yes.
It's for next year?
And it'll be more than one day.
Okay. Amphitheater or indoors? Or
Maybe lots of the Civic Center area.
So Burning Man is moving to Anderson.
No, Burning Man's not coming either.
Most everybody should have their tax assessment by now. Has the county had much feedback on reassessments this year?
I personally haven't received any feedback on that. I mean, I looked at mine. Mine is in the same situation. But again, council hasn't raised taxes. Thanks to the growth, we've been able to keep taxes low and pay for things with the growth that we've had coming in. But I haven't personally had any feedback.
How does that work, though, that council's able, as the population has grown just tremendously, and need for services, demand for services that you have to provide by law, how has council managed not to raise
Well, council makes sure that we run lean and mean. We don't have a lot of superfluous items in our budget, and we try to do the best we have. And our chief financial officer, Rita Davis, can stretch a dollar until it screams and cries. So that's how we've been able to do that.
There's a new giant statue in the Elephant Park behind the courthouse. How did it get there? Is it costing the county any money? Is it permanent?
The Millennium Pegasus, that statue was designed to go on the AU campus. But for some reason, they need a place to park it. So we provided a place for them to park it. They've given us an estimate, it may be 3 years. It could be there 30 years. They may design another statue. They paid for the statue. They paid to have it delivered. We did put some concrete down so that it would have a place to be. So we did do that part of it, but we've had nothing but wonderful comments on that statue being there. It looks nice during the day. It looks even prettier at night.
And it's staring at Councilman John Wright all day long.
Looking at John Wright's office, making sure that he's doing good.
Are there any other things that might be added to that green space?
No, because we always want it to be a green space unless they decide to move the Eiffel Tower here, and we're holding off for that.
All right, the Anderson Christmas Lights, Lights of Hope, is celebrating 30 years of holiday lights. They bring in between 30 and 50,000 folks to Whitehall Park across from the Civic Center every year. How important is it for tourism during the holidays, and how much they help the charities?
Well, all of that money goes to the charities, and it gives people in Anderson something to do. We're one of the last places that has a light situation like that. And does it bring in tourists? Yes. But it also is something for the people in Anderson County so they can take their families out, support a good cause, and have fun. And we love it, and it does a good job, and it costs the county absolutely nothing.
And like we mentioned, the entertainment and even Green Pond, there's not really much else going on to bring in tourists this time of year.
No, but got more tournaments coming into Green Pond. In January, they have the big striper tournament that used to be on Lake Murray, but they like us best now. So that'll be fun to fish in January, but that's for stripers.
Speaking of holidays, the farmers market, holiday market's about to crank up. And last year, I've never seen so many people. They were on a covered and uncovered space. It was just full down there.
Well, I know that we have 50 spaces. This Saturday, there will be 52 vendors there. It may have increased on that. And the legendary Steve Newton will be providing the music this holiday market Saturday.
Is he going to work in some Christmas songs?
He is.
Well, that time has finally arrived. You and I have been talking about it, and the new, larger Anderson County Christmas tree is up and almost fully decorated. They haven't put the star on top yet, have they?
No.
When will it light up unofficially from?
Thanksgiving, the Thursday before Thanksgiving.
So that's next week.
Yep.
And will music start from the clock tower during the unofficial lighting?
Yes.
And then the official lighting is December 1st with the city.
Correct.
The same night the Pendleton lights their tree. Everybody's lighting their trees up there. All that's left is, I guess, Santa to go in your window. When will that light up?
Santa always goes up the Thursday before Thanksgiving so he can watch the Christmas tree. That's his job. Make sure everybody on Main Street is safe. But that's going to be a good night because we're working with the Chamber of Commerce for them to do their cookie crawl. We're going to have music. We're trying to make it more than just lighting the tree and then you leave. Something for people to stay around downtown a little bit even longer.
And people have gotten married down there and brought.
They've gotten married, and this year we have red balls, we have gold balls, we have green balls.
It looks a lot better.
And I like it so much better than last year. I'm very excited about it. And
It is taller, noticeably taller.
oh, noticeably taller. And Miss Wanda Johnson of international renown.
Well-deserved international.
Well-deserved. She will be placing the star on top of the Christmas tree. Now, we don't know when that will be, but she's braver than I am because I'm not going up that tall in the cherry picker, but it doesn't faze her at all.
Can we get her to sing while she's doing
Well,
it?
she might as well.
So the county's ready for Christmas.
Well, we're getting ready for Christmas. We're getting ready for Christmas. The best time of the year.